One man, one go. They go. One man go. Everything supposed to be jolly day. Everything supposed to be jolly day. Now we won't go take it. One man, one vote. No one put the good put it in. They never say about the vote for that man. We'll make something go right.
Man is a political animal. That we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM with Martin Ifan Shubumi every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/GistFM every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep it there.
It's just 41 days, 22 hours to the presidential and national assembly election, which will happen on the 25th of February 2023. Nigerian people will go to the poll to elect a new president. Good morning and welcome to Political Views on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shuku Ekezie. So on the 25th of February 2023, Nigerians will go to the polls to decide who becomes the next president of Nigeria. So far, we have seen campaign of smear and hate speech, and at the same time, some of the core issues Nigerians want to see the presidential candidates, discuss in a debate have been addressed in one way or the other. So most journalists, civil leaders, civil society leaders, union leaders, and common Nigerian, are of the opinion that any presidential candidate that won't pay attention and present himself for scrutiny through the process of the presidential debate, insults Nigerians. Meanwhile, through the course of this week's political activities, Anambra monarchs called on Nigerians to vote candidates according to character and reputation and not based on party appeal. Meanwhile, INEC extended the days for the PVC collections. Remember that this political views, it is political views on Ebonade 103.5 FM. But before we go any further, let me bring you up to speed on the happenings on the Nigerian political space at this hour. So, political news, the headlines. G5 governors will soon shut door of reconciliation, Wike warns PDP. PDP, APC trade wars over Governor Uzodinma's scorecard in 3 years. Oshunpo Tribunal reserves judgment. Tit for tit. Inspector General of Police, DSS, Attorney General of the Federation dragged to court for alleged negligence to Obi's safety. Inspector General of Police retrained 79 squadron commanders on deployments ahead of elections. Spain honors late Nigerian ambassador Demola Seriki with posthumous award. Federal High Court appoints 9 judges. Nigerian Union of Teachers strike. Parents beg union cancel on speedy resolution. Federal government urges governors to urgently tame rising out of school children. Buhari's renowned anti-corruption posture brought about judicial reforms. Malami. Now the details. G5 governors will soon shut down door of reconciliation, Wike warns PDP. G5 governors will soon shut door of reconciliation, Wike warns PDP. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has said the G5 governors will soon shut the door of reconciliation with the leadership of People's Democratic Party, PDP. The governor stated this yesterday during an interview with BBC Pidgin, which was monitored by newsmen in Port Harcourt. Wike reiterated that their choice of presidential candidate will soon be made known to the public, adding that they were not in a hurry to make a decision on whom to support. Wike said, some people are counting January 4th, 16th. They should calm down. We are all politicians. We have political strategies. I don't work as an individual. That's what people don't understand. There are different strategies in going to war. What you see today is not what you see tomorrow. Oh, I laugh at them, PDP, when they say we are in touch with so governor. He clarified that telling the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, that he is a presidential material doesn't mean that he, Wike, has endorsed Obi. If I tell Obi that he is a presidential material, does that mean an endorsement? Wike queried. PDP, APC trade wars over Governor Uzodinma's scorecard in 3 years. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, in Imo have disagreed over Governor Hope Uzodinma's scorecard within 3 years in office. The news agency of Nigeria reports that Governor Uzodinma assumed office on January 14, 2020, following a judgment of the Supreme Court which affirmed his victory at the 2019 governorship election in the state, while the PDP Publicity Secretary, Mr. Collins Opu Uzo, said Uzodinma's 3 years were enmeshed in economic stagnation, mass penury, insecurity, and infrastructural decay. The APC Publicity Secretary, Mr. Kajetan Duke dismissed the statement in a statement signed by the PDP publicity secretary and made available to the news agency in Owerri. Opuzo argued that the greatest casualties of Governor Uzodinma's emergency are the Imo people. He alleged that Uzodinma had, in the past 3 years, worked so hard to ensure that all the institutions of democracy are dismantled and fully blown dictatorship firmly established and full-blown dictatorship firmly established. Obozo further claimed that the bloodshed, poor health care, collapse of education, death of agricultural productivity, conscription of the political space, and violation of human rights have become the order of the day. For instance, the local government system, which is a mechanism put in place to expand and sustain the democratic space and spread the democratic values, has been destroyed in Imo. This is a huge tragedy. Imo is a state that has over 70% of her entire population living in the rural areas. Yet the only channel through which governance can be delivered to the people have been completely run aground, he contended. Osun Poll Tribunal reserves judgment. The Osun Election Petitions Tribunal on Friday adjourned for judgment the petition filed by former Governor Boyega Oyetola challenging the victory of Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party in the July 16th governorship election. The chairman of the three-man panel, Justice Tessie Kume, reserves the judgment for a later day to be communicated to parties in the matter after the petitioner and the respondents had adopted their final written addresses in Oshobo, the capital. Oyetola and the All Progressive Congress APC had on August 5th submitted a petition before the tribunal in Oshobo. Oyetola and the APC were challenging the elections results from 749 polling units across 10 local government areas of the state for various alleged electoral malpractice, especially overvoting. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had declared Adeleke as the winner of the governorship election, having pooled 403,271 votes against 375,027 pooled by Oyetola. Earlier, counsel to APC, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi San, in his final written address, said all documents and processes were filled and submitted, were filed and submitted on January 8th. Fagbemi adopted all submitted written documents and objections on point of law and also argued all objections earlier filed by the respondent, asking the court to accede to all his submissions and requests. Inspector General of Police, DSS, Attorney General of the Federation, dragged to court for alleged negligence to Obi's safety. A legal practitioner, Barrister Ken Iruma Asogwa, has dragged the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Director General, Department of State Security Services, DSS, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja for alleged negligence and breach of professional duties towards the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter G. Obi. In a motion marked FHC HC 2023 and dated January 13th, the applicant relying on Chapter IV of the 1999 Constitution as amended Section 4 of Police Act, Section 2, Subsection 3 of National Security Agency Act, and Order 3 of the Federal High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2019 and the inherent jurisdiction of court, prayed the court to declare that the respondents were negligent and breached their professional duties in allowing a mammoth crowd surround Obi a potential president of Nigeria, at very close proximity at a campaign rally in Enugu State. Other prayers include declaration that by allowing a mammoth crowd and unauthorized persons to surround Obi at a very close proximity, the respondents exposed him to danger and a threat to good governance in Nigeria, and therefore unlawful, wrongful, and unconstitutional. That and that the applicant has the right to vote for Obi in the 2023 presidential election, and a potential president of Nigeria whose presidency the applicant believes will be a source of liberation for him and that of his family, and the candidate is therefore entitled to full state protection by the respondent. Meanwhile, the applicant also prayed the court to declare that Mr. Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election and a potential president of Nigeria, is entitled to protection from harm and danger from the defendants under the 1999 Constitution as amended and Police Act, an order mandating the respondent to provide adequate security and protection to Obi during campaigns, rallies, during and after the election. Moving away from that, Spain honors late Nigerian ambassador Demola Seriki with posthumous award. The Kingdom of Spain has honored ambassador to Spain, Ademola Seriki, with a posthumous award. Seriki died on Thursday, December 15th, 2022, while serving as Nigerian envoy to Spain. The Civil Merit Award was delivered to the family of the deceased diplomat by the Spanish Foreign Minister, Jose Manuel Alvarez, in Abuja on Thursday. Wife of the late envoy, Ms. Usilat Seriki, and his son, Mr. Wale Seriki, received the award on behalf of the family. The Spanish minister was in Nigeria as part of the efforts to deepen bilateral relations with Nigeria on issues of security, renewable energy, agriculture, maritime security, trade, and investment. In his remarks during the ceremony, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, said the late Seriki bagged the award in recognition of the enormous effort he made in strengthening the relationship between both countries and moving it to another level. Federal High Court appoints 9 judges. On Friday, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tehemba Tosho, announced the appointment of 9 new judges for the court, separate from the earlier 15 judges recently approved. Catherine Obi, Catherine Obi Christopher, Assistant Director of Information of the court, in a statement said the CG, in the exercise of his constitutional power and conquest upon the approval by Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN) and Chairman, National Judicial Council (NJC), Justice Olukoyade Ariwora, for the appointment of further 9 judges, separate from the pending exercise for the appointment of 15 judges earlier approved. The exercise for considering candidates for possible appointment to the bench of the Federal High Court with regards to Bayelsa, Ebonyi, Gombe, Ogun, and Oyo states will commence soon, the court said in a statement. In line with the NJC guideline and the procedural rules for appointment of judicial officers of superior courts, the Honorable Chief Judge therefore invites your lordships, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice and the President, Nigerian Bar Association, to kindly nominate suitable qualified persons from the aforementioned states for appointment to the Federal High Court bench. All recommendations are to reach the chambers of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court on or before 28 February 2023. Moving away from that story, NUT strike, parents beg union, council on speedy resolution. Some parents in the Kuje Area Council of FCT have called on the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, and the Kuje Area Council to reach a workable resolution to enable primary school pupils to resume classes in the area. The parents who made the call in separate interview with newsmen in Kuje said that the strike was having a negative impact on the pupils and appealed for a speedy resolution. News recalls that the primary school teachers in Kuje had on Monday embarked on an indefinite strike over the failure of the area council to meet some demands of the union. The union, through its chairman, Mr. Audu Lucky, had listed the demands as the non-payment of salaries to 2018 recruited teachers whose salaries were abruptly stopped by the council's chairman in September 2022. Moving away from that story, federal government urges state governors to urgently tame rising out of school children. The federal government has called on governors to stem the tide of rising number of out of school children in their respective states. The Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Opia, stated this on Thursday in Abeokuta during the flag off ceremony and national campaign on out of school children. Opia urged governors to make substantive efforts to ensure increased access, improve quality and systems strengthening of education at all levels in the state. The minister expressed concern that the number of out of school children was still on the high side, with Nigeria ranking highest in the sub-Sahara Africa. According to him, these children are found on the streets hawking, begging, some as house girls without any skill, and some in the farms during school hours. There is nothing to share about if a single child is out of school, not to talk of the millions that are currently roaming the streets in different parts of the country instead of being in the classroom learning, he said. Opia insisted that there was a need to address the challenge adequately by strengthening the quality of basic education in the state and confronting those factors that deny children access to basic education head on. He said the federal government was determined to ensure that the school-age children who are out of school are enrolled and retained in formal or non-formal schools within close proximity to their homes. We must always remember that education is our collective responsibility and its failure can well be taken as the failure of us all. This calls for the need for all hands to be on deck, the need for joint efforts, commitment, and political will to eradicate the out of school children menace in Nigeria, he stated. Now, the last story we have for you this morning, as Buhari's renowned anti-corruption posture brought about judicial reforms, Malami. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami San, says President Muhammadu Buhari's renowned anti-corruption posture and policies, unsurprisingly, brought to the front burner issues of judiciary reforms and independence. Malami made the disclosure in Abuja during the 17th edition of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration scorecard series on Thursday. He said that tenet of the rule of law, deepening democratic governance practices, and strengthening institutional reforms across law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies were part of the cardinal policies at the core of the agenda of Buhari's administration. Justice sector transcend the Ministry of Justice or the Office of the Attorney General. The policies and activities in the justice sector are driven by different stakeholders who play assigned roles, ranging from the enactments of laws and interpretations of laws to the implementation or enforcement of laws, with the ultimate aim of ensuring access to justice. Also, he noted that an effective justice delivery system is key to ensuring Nigeria's economic growth and development, as well as ensuring the socio-economic well-being of citizens. Now, there you have it. A lot is going on in the political scene in Nigeria today. It is political season already, so our political scene cannot be this busy ever. This is the time it can only get this busy, really, and a lot is going on. We are looking at the fact that, okay, Wike is still placing Nigerians on suspense, and now maybe people are beginning to look at it like, okay, you are going for P2B, and now he's calling it a bluff as well, that okay, he's not going for that. That the fact that he said that P2B is a presidential material does not mean that he endorsed. That saying that someone is a presidential material does that mean you endorsed the person in the first place. So he could also change the timeline. He could say, okay, I'm not saying that this person that is a presidential material is a presidential material now. But for you to sponsor his logistics now in this presidential election, that means when you say he's a presidential material, you are also saying that maybe he's good to go now. But at the same time, he's not the only one you are sponsoring his logistics. You are sponsoring other presidential materials, uh, like their presidential campaign as well, the logistics. So he's not the only one he promised that, support logistically. So, in as much as APC and PDP will not agree when it comes to the scorecard of Governor Ozodinma, but there are some things to attest to. Some things like even the fact that the World Bank, gave him a grant just because they see that his government is transparent enough. So there are some things that some Imo people will like maybe testify to that, okay, this is what they got from it. But at the same time, PDP is of the argument that Imo people are the most victims when it comes to the killings in Ozodema's administration, all the killings that went on in his administration. So, but we get to hear from you, and know exactly what your thought is on that particular one. The trading of word between APC and PDP is really a big deal. So, it is political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Let's get to hear from you. What are your political views when it comes to what is happening in Nigeria today? Endorsement of presidential candidates, and the election, the forthcoming election. Now, we also get to hear from you. What is your experience about the PVC collection now? Have you gone? What is going on now? Is the process okay in your area, in that particular ward where you have been instructed by INEC to go and pick it up? These and more will be the cause of our discussion on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebonade 103.5 FM. The numbers you will call and you become part of this conversation: 080 9666 1035. Hello. Yeah, good morning. Your name and location. Hello? Please go on. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, please go on. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, please go on. Okay. 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 Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. Leader. Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay. But when you say that Nigerians now are wiser, you look at some of the presidential candidates and see like some of the followership that they have as well. Some don't even want to know about some of the accusations that some of them have. All they know is that this is the person I want. So don't you think that some Nigerians are still following blindly? Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And, okay. Mm. The way he used to. Okay. 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 Mm. Mm. Okay.
whoever that wins the presidency,
Mm.
I want to say that may not be the person that wins the election.
It's not like I want to defend him or anything, no, but I just want to point something out. He started calling Atiku out even before the choice for the presidential, vice presidential choice was made by PDP in the first place. He started calling him out. If you remember when Deborah was killed, and then Atiku made a statement and then withdrew it at the same time. Wike was the first person that said, "See, somebody we want to make our leader." He was the first person that accused him, before that choice was made. So, if in his defense, don't you see that somehow he started calling him out even before that choice was made? So he wasn't bending down hoping that he would get that choice in the first place.
The thing is that, before that incident, the
Mm.
primary election had not taken place.
Yeah.
And himself also was going for the same position. So he was in a kind of trying to bring Atiku down. Both of them were going for the same position. You understand? It was not necessarily because of, he was doing it because he himself was also going for the same position
Okay.
as Atiku.
I can't just remember
So
the
he was
timeline
trying to
completely
define
now, but
the
I,
errors
I
of
believe it
Atiku
happened
so
in
that
between. Like maybe Atiku must have gotten that the presidential slot. Now they are looking for the vice presidential slot, who will take it now. But I think it's in between that period. It's not just exactly when, okay, they were still gunning for the presidential ticket. I think it happened in between that period. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let me hear from other people as well, their political views. Thank you so much. Yes, it is still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. What are your views? This program is basically for the people who are grounded politically, and these are the things we have to talk about. Remember that we are also talking about an individual who sued Inspector General of Police, DSS, Attorney General of the Federation. He sued them, alleging the fact that they are neglecting P2B's safety. It's not P2B is not the one that sued them in the first place. An individual is a Nigerian citizen who is concerned about the safety of him. Now sued the Inspector General of Police, DSS, AGF. So what is your take on all of this? 08096661035. It is political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Are you grounded? Let's hear from you. Basically, let's hear from you. Yes, at the same time, we are still looking at the fact that President Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, endorsed Mr. P2P a while ago, and then a lot of issues came out of that. A lot of like some of the presidential candidates began to say a lot of things, and then some Nigerians begin to ask him private, like personal questions. Referred everybody to a particular video he saw on YouTube. He told everybody, if you are a Nigerian and you want to vote and you are going to vote, you must watch this video. That you have to watch that video that he's recommending for you to understand what you are about to embark on. So the video itself, I personally went and saw the video just the way he recommended it, and he said every Nigerian should watch the video. So I now went for the video. As a patriotic Nigerian that I am now, I am patriotic enough. I need to watch the video and understand what he's saying. So I saw the video. He was a man of God preaching to his congregation, and all of a sudden he asked them, the people who are going to vote should raise their hands up, and everybody raised their hands up. And when they raised their hands up, he now said, you all have a candidate in your mind that you have made up your mind that this is the presidential candidate I want to vote. He said, I don't want to know. But if your presidential candidate, the person you want to vote, is like, if you truly want to vote that person, and you can you whatever you wish, whatever way the person behaves, like that presidential candidate behaves, that your children must have those attributes as well. And then people began to, withdraw their hands. Some people now dropped their hands. he now made it a declaration that anybody you vote in this particular election as a Nigerian, that your child will be exactly like that person. So Obasanjo said that that video is a description of what this particular election is all about in Nigeria today. That whatever you decide today is what you have decided for your children. So let me hear your view. What is your take on that particular one as well? Let's hear from you. It is political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, 080 96 661035. You call this number and then we'll talk about all of it. Hello, good morning.
Am I also Ifani, right?
Yes, Martin Ifan Shukwe is here on Ebona, the 103.5 FM.
Correct.
My
Good
brother.
morning to you, my very good friend Ifani.
Welcome, my brother from Alo.
Happy New Year.
I wish you the same, my brother.
Chukwuemeka Ilomaka speaking from Alo, London this morning.
You're welcome.
My very good friend, you know why I love myself and millions of people love the way I talk. Because I'm very factual and realistic.
Okay.
Devoid of cheap sentiment, propaganda, tribalistic, religion, and all these things.
Okay.
Where am I trying to get to? Let me be very factual this morning.
Okay.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria I have seen that the election is now a cartoon, a caricature, all in the name of people who are clamoring that justice and fairness should be meted to them,
Okay.
which I also believe. But for you to get justice and fairness, you have not looked into yourself first to know how you behave in your entity. How can people who are disunited, who are not united, who the whole world knows that they are not united, be yearning for something, playing all kinds of cartoons, using Christian people, church people, market people, philanthropists, some low people, high people, to project something, all in the name of looking for equity and justice? Is that how politics is played? Politics is played based on number, based on how you strategize, how you convince the people, not how you try to paint black white, when the whole world knows that this thing is black, all in the name of personal interest. You try as much to hoodwink and the worst people because of equity and justice. Where am I trying to get to, my very good friends?
Okay.
It is very clear that as far as I'm concerned, we have presidential candidates coming out, just like one of the pastors told us. You didn't tell me. He just what you just told us. Yeah, that the pastor was just playing with himself in the podium. That whatever you vote is for your children.
Yes.
Since we have been voting, since our mothers have been voting, what has happened? Are we not living? My mother voted years ago. Am I not living? Are you not living? Your father, your mother, did they not vote in the 1970s? Are you not living?
I'm living.
Yes. Are we not living? Many people are prospering. Cement is 4,500.
Maybe,
they are shouting,
but my question here now, maybe the choice they made in those days is the reason why we are still living. Yes, we are living, but not living in the angle that maybe we want it. Insecurity is not something I'm proud of myself, you know. So maybe the choice my mother and my father made in those days brought about this insecurity today. So that's these questions.
Yes, my very good friend, I totally agree with you.
Okay.
But everything that happens has a root. My very good friend, somebody's interest can cause people, a lot of people, crowd to suffer or to die to attain his interest. So where am I trying to get to? Somebody failing, thinking, having a calculation that if he caught insecurity, he can use it to give him a power to normalize things. People do such things. People do many things because they know, first of all, that the people that are playing political games are OS members. People who cannot think for themselves, who cannot think deeply into themselves to know, come out with their own analysis. People who run to already deeply into themselves to know, come out with their own analysis. People who run to radio station or run to newspaper to read what Kayam was saying, what Mokri said.
Well, yes, we have to keep up with the news now, don't we? Like it's a global thing now. It's not. It's a global phenomenon that one who is interested in the polity of his country must pay attention to the news, because that's.
I understand where you're going. Majority of us do not have the mentality of breaking what they hear, what they read, in their own terms, to understand it on their own. They just carry it like that. They read something, any security here, just like they are saying, they conscripted the Boko Haram people in the distance. You did not make your research well to finalize on your own. You just thought, okay, is that what is happening? Boko Haram are Nigerian army now. Hey, okay, did you hear what they said? Boko Haram, okay, we tell support it. Everybody will be spreading without making a proper investigation. That is what I'm talking about. That is what these politicians are using us, because they know that we don't have investigative mentality. That we are yes member, you read, you professor, you read, and you tell the people start spreading and spreading, whether we or not. So I cannot be square by cheaper what I read. I have my mentality to take on my own. So what I'm trying to say here, or say this and say that, remember that when Muslim ticket came out, I was talking. Now they have, they have suspended out. What they are saying now is that everybody should go and vote who they want.
No, I don't think they have suspended out. Some people called them out again of late. There are this group that called that particular issue out again of late. So I don't think they.
My very good friend, every organization in Nigeria is factionalized. Even if you go to main market, they are factionalized. They have main market APC, main market PDP, who believe in APC or PDP or Africa or whatever. If you go to IMF, it is so. Central Bank, it is so. Radio stations, it is so. So you might be hearing from people who are
the media is neutral. The media is neutral. I say to some point the media is neutral.
Let me leave media alone. Go to every organization, even battle pushers. They have their own their own ideology and where they believe. It is left for you to know who is talking. Is it a battle pusher PDP or battle pusher APC? You understand? That is exactly what I'm talking. If people have investigative mentality, all these things we are playing here in Nigeria will not be occurring.
So we need to understand the main market APC and the main market PDP and know exactly who is who.
Them now from their talk. You know them now.
Okay, by their fruit you shall know them.
PDP talk.
By their fruit.
PDP talk. You know they will not say anything good about APC.
Okay, can you just give us an example of a PDP fruit right now? Let's know, or APC fruit. Of an individual who is in main market. Let's see. Okay, you can break it down like that. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining us. Let me allow another person come in through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, it is still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. It is happening. We are talking about it. What are your views politically? Everything that goes on in the corridor of power, in one way or the other, affects you and me. So it is very important that we discuss it, talk about it like this, just the way we are talking about it right now. But at the same time, based on the discussion I was having with the last caller, the issue is there. We know the difference between speculations and facts. Yes, it's not everyone that could tell that, okay, this is a conspiracy or this is a speculation and this is fact and this is, fake news, and which is which, basically. But at the end of the day, in discussing it in general, we have the elite Nigerians who discuss these things and then tell the proper way it is. But looking at that particular happening, a pastor is preaching in that manner. He didn't tell anybody that this is the person you must vote, but he's trying to search everybody's conscience to make sure that you are taking the right decision, that the hunger or whatever you want to get now, that the immediate gratification that you are looking at right now, in order to vote whichever person, that he affects that particular area. So what is your take on it? The person you are about to vote as a Nigerian today, are you doing it knowing that, okay, you can have a child like this and then you are okay with that kind of character the person possesses? 08096661035 is the number you call and you become part of this conversation. Yes, it is still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. And remember that we're also talking about the fact that federal government urges state governors to urgently tame rising out of school children. A lot of people have blamed the federal government on this particular issue. Now, the federal government is also telling state governors that we must do something, and in the process, telling every Nigerian that this education issue is a collective effort. It is something that we all must put hands together and actualize, basically. What is your take on this one, too? It is political views on Emona, the 103.5 FM. I discovered that somehow it's like network is messing with us in one way or the other. But please keep the calls coming. And if your calls can't just come through like that, you could send a text SMS on 08096661035. You can as well send WhatsApp message on that same number, and then we'll keep this discussion going on. We need to talk about these things. All that goes on in the corridors of power affects you and me in one way or the other. So the numbers again: 08096661035. What are your political views? Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and location, please.
Thank you, my dear.
Charles from Elzewell.
Thank you, Frank.
Frank. Okay, please go on, Frank.
Yes, I want to say something about the barrister that sued the inspector general of police, the
Okay.
attorney general, and the CFO.
Yes, about P2B safety.
Yes,
Mm.
I want to say that what the man did is very right.
Okay.
But the truth is that nothing is going to come out of. This will be as a presidential candidate to a registered political party
Mm.
entitled to security
Okay.
in his rallies or campaigns.
Mm.
Very, very sad that a man of that cadre
Mm.
at this point in time to be speaking and the people who be very close to him, they're very close to him. Somebody can stab him, somebody can somebody can gun him down without anybody knowing who did that because of the good.
Mm.
Doesn't happen like that. So the person that the man that killed these people, they're right. And I'm going to tell you that you're not going to hear that much again.
Okay.
Unless maybe somebody else wants to find out why. And the court is not going to do anything about it. All these numbers started. There'll be party everywhere. The enemies is opposition to enjoy. So whatever that this man has done to kill them, you're not going to hear it again. I want to tell you that nothing will happen to that young man until God brings him to where he's taking him.
Okay.
No man can stop it.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to say again on the federal government calling on state governors
Mm.
to fight
Out of school children.
out of school children
The syndrome.
and all that. I want to say that is just shocking.
Okay.
Federal government is what are they doing in order to ensure that children are in school? Will the state governors go and drag them from their houses, from their homes to go to school? I've had some people this January complaining about the fact that they don't have money to pay for their children's school.
Okay.
Many people like that. It can happen in Nigeria. Some people cannot provide 3 square meals for their family. Some people are already living fees over school fees of their children. So who cannot do that? What do you expect from them? The federal government telling them to do something. Saying the federal government, what have they done about it? So for them, that is just, they are just trying to maybe, they want us to hear their voice.
Okay.
So that it will be that they are taking care of the masses. But that is just, nothing. They have not done anything about it. So that is displacement. The state governors have nothing to do about it.
But don't you believe that sometimes someone might just do something and then yet the effect will maybe take a while before you see that particular effect? Maybe they must have done something and then they are expecting state governors to complement the efforts that they are making as well.
If they do something in that nature, people will know.
Okay.
And they think it is secret. For who? What have they done? If they want to declare maybe free education, Nigeria, the money is there to use, only that they have embezzled everything. They have looted everything. But I think the best thing they have done is that 2023, that they are declaring free education. I I mean, sometimes you may think that people they don't want to go to school or that they're illiterate. And the truth is that their parents cannot afford their education.
That's school fees. Okay.
And it's very unfortunate in a country like Nigeria, against of Africa. So that call is yes, but it's not going to yield anything. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Federal government should start doing something either by declaring free education or reviving our economy so that the parents will be able to children after children they will be able to send them to school. So all this call is meaningless to us.
And even when they say that it's a collective effort, that means every Nigerian will put in one way or the other. If you have means, you could also see some people through school as well. Maybe that's what they are suggesting in that particular area as well.
And my brother, Mr. Ifan, you, how can you tell us how we can collectively help the masses, the children to go to school when you have not been able to take your one child?
Okay.
You have not been able to take
Personally, if I can tell you, it's not like I want to brag or anything, but I'm also trying to suggest it to individuals. Like personally, I have used this platform to pay for 2 school fees at a time. So in a little way, you can help anybody. Random people see that people get education. So that's how I look at it too as well.
I'm not saying that it is wrong to do that. I'm talking about federal government coming from state governors. Because people have been paying for that. There are people that, from primary to university, there are people that they give scholarships to children. And God is blessing them for that. I'm talking about federal government
doing bigger stuff. But even like, what I'm looking at is, some kind of problems that we don't look at government anymore. But as people, we come together, and say, okay, let's see how we can handle this or that on our own.
Economic threat, people are doing it. It's not new.
Okay.
So nobody will come to the public and tell you how many
he must have done. Okay.
People are doing it, and I thank God for that. But I'm talking about federal government.
Okay. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's allow another person give us his political view. Thank you so much. It is Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Let's hear your views. This is the way we get to solve some of our problems as a people. Let's hear from you. Hello.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm a mother of someone.
Please go on.
As long as I'm concerned, the federal government is talking nothing.
Okay.
They are not talking anything. Because if they know that the state government have the responsibility for the schools, then they can restructure Nigeria. So that the governors should have the power to control everything.
Okay.
Can the governors tell person that run out, the children in the ID camp to go back to their place and start school? Do you know that so many schools are closed? Even in Benue State here, so many schools closed. In Imo State, so many schools closed. How can children that are going to that school go back to school? Is it the governor of the state government will take them back to the state? If they go back, the foreign national will pursue them again and take their place. Is this governor will control the bandits in the bush? So, out of school children, 93.something million in Nigeria, according to the statistics. And so, remember, so many individuals are paying for admission scholarship. Even some politicians are doing scholarship. So, at this scale, we have something million people out of school children. And federal government is telling state government to do something. They cannot do anything because it's not only one thing that makes them not to go to school.
Okay.
Not only hunger.
Okay.
Insecurity is among. If it is only hunger.
So it's not even about fund anymore. It's even about security first before talking about the school.
So many things is involved. So if they want to state government to do something, let them restructure this country.
Okay.
So that either by region, by state, you have the state. Do you know that the governor cannot control army or police? Even common civil defense. And when governor said maybe some ID camp, in fact, now your place is okay, go back to your place so that you go back to school. You shouldn't go there. Then terrorists will kill them. And short,
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, it is still political views on Ebon the 103.5 FM. Yes, when you you also have to be very objective about it, and just remove sentiment and then. But you are making a lot of points in all of this. All the things you said, you made a lot of points, and then about if we look at it, even what you said about the restructuring, maybe when it is done, if it is done properly, state governments could also engage the exercise of school feeding and the rest of them, even free education to some point, and then the security aspect they could take serious decision in some of the areas. Let's hear from you. Hello.
Hello, Ifani.
Good morning.
I called back.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. My very good friend. Let me start by the last caller.
Okay.
In as much as I yearn for restructuring, but the truth remains. Just like you said that we need people in this country to change things around. And myself has analyzed Nigeria, and I have come out to tell myself the truth that whether we analyze Nigeria, and I have come out to tell myself the truth that whether we talk from January to December, unless God comes down to Nigeria to cleanse every citizen, baptize them, remove the bad blood in us, and input another blood, nothing is happening. Now, you are yearning for restructuring. Have you asked yourself, have you restructured your mentality? Does government run people? Is it not people that run government? When a corrupt somebody is in a restructured system, will it do not be corruption again?
Okay.
When a restructured mentality is in a restructured system, will everything not be moving fine? When a restructured entity is manned by corrupt and devilish people, will we not go back to
the people in government are a reflection of what the people are. That is, the people we see in government, whatever they are doing there in the government is the reflection of the people.
Now, let me give you an example. One of our citizens here was yearning to go to one of the presidential primary. Why? He was even boasting of how he would get 50,000 pounds. He was jumping, he was jogging to get corrupt money. A citizen who is not in government is yearning for corruption, and here we are talking. Let me be very frank. Till God come and baptize every single one of us, then we start talking about good citizens of Nigeria, effecting change in Nigeria.
But don't you see a situation whereby there will be a paradigm shift? Like everybody just take a decision and that's it. Based on this thing Obasanjo is offering us with that video, everybody search your conscience based on what that pastor is saying. That's the thing.
Obasanjo, you see the kind of people you used to give you an example. People you are using.
He's a human being.
One day, my very good friend, listen, one day, Evans the billionaire will come and start preaching people, hey, this, that, and people will start shouting, hey, Evans is say this. My very good friend, I like being factual and realistic. Listen to me. Till God comes and change the blood of every citizen of Nigeria, nothing is happening. We are talking of Messiah, which Messiah?
Anyway, God is a fact, though. God is a fact. I accept that.
Friend, God has created us. He gave us everything free, and we are disturbing God. He gave us everything. He's waiting for us to praise Him. Okay. And we use our own mentality to destroy ourselves. Yes. So what does God have to do? If God is not happy with us, we're disturbing Him. He gave you everything free of charge. Did you pay? And you keep disturbing Him because of your manhandling of yourself. You are now waiting for God to come and change what? Well, Rome was not built in a day. Let me tell you, all this Messiah, political talk we used to win people to get votes. No, not for me, man. That's it for me. Let me tell you, what you will see is a governor or president will come, build bridge here, do this, that, bring one policy, and go. People.
Hello?
People under him,
okay.
People under him will siphon money and do this. Even the government himself might siphon money too, but not big like other ones. You understand? That is what he will keep saying. Till generations upon generations who do not culminate the kind of mentality with.
Oh, please call back. Yes, it is still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, 08096661035. Let's hear from you. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
My name is Zikman, calling from Ogudu.
Please go on.
I don't have much to say this morning.
Okay.
Calling from Ogudu.
Please go on.
I don't have much to say this morning.
Okay.
Only restructuring. Restructuring will save this country.
Okay.
As you can see, the last caller, it seems that he's contradicting himself by saying God is come down from heaven. And he comes, then it says that there's no way God will do the thing that we're supposed to do for ourselves.
Yes, because I said God is a fact now, because he said he works with facts. So I said God is a fact, and I thank God that you are working with this fact that is God now. So he now debated again and there is not possible. We can't disturb God. And that one is also a fact. We can't be disturbing God when he gave us everything. We need to work it out ourselves.
Yes, after saying everything, he comes back to the same thing that you are saying. That it is we that ourselves that have to do to take this country on the right path, not God.
Okay.
It is me and him that will take this country on the right path.
So that paradigm shift to take a decision. That I want to take the right decision.
Okay, for instance, now the USA president is 70-something years of age. But because of they have institution that is working, even if let me use this word, sorry to say, a dead person enters there, the country will continue to run because all the institution is working. But here, it is the president, everything president. Okay, the institution is working, and the institution find out that they are corrupt. It will deal with you. All corruption is in every country of the world. But because some of those countries, their institutions are working.
The American president you used as an example, the American president is under investigation right now based on the way he handles some documents, so that shows you that there is checks and balance,
I read it yesterday. That is the country that is working. Their institutions are working. They don't know who you are. You are not above the law. That is what we want to employ in Nigeria.
Okay.
Even if it is a Mr. President, then he will first face the law. Able to solve all this contradiction. Go and get my PDP is racist. If you do not have your own, go and get it and vote the right person that will change this thing once and for all.
Meanwhile, did you observe the collection of PVCs by the wards? Have you gone to the wards? Okay.
Even that I got my 2014, but right here beside me, one primary school here, they are collecting the PVC already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need people go out there and get the PVC. This is the only solution. Take the bull by the horn, not complaining, and contradicting yourself. Okay. Some people are shouting not to the structure referendum. Tell the difference between a referendum and the election. And some people say the referendum is in the constitution.
Okay. No problem.
Nigeria did it in 1967. That one. How was the referendum conducted? That one is not even the same because the constitution we are using now is 1999 constitution. You can't compare 1999 constitution with the 1963 constitution.
Okay. In
this current constitution, there is nothing like the referendum there. Let all of us work out for the betterment of this country. Even if Biafra comes tomorrow, without restructuring, it will not work. Yes, very simple. It will not work. Because if somebody from River, another state is saying different things from another state is saying, oh, it is only when the institution is working that everything will be all right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. What is your take politically? That's what we're doing here this morning. Let's hear from you. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, my brother.
Honorable Monday Johnson. I'm calling in this morning from Onega.
Okay, please go on.
I wrote article titled Nigeria Political Perspective.
Okay.
Godfatherism. Nigeria Political Perspective. My brother,
okay.
Are you not seeing what I saw? That you cannot do well in Nigeria politics as an actor if you don't have Godfather who is there to either indulge you or place you before the people before you can now speak your chest and say, I can now do well. I have said it and I still maintain it. Nobody as a political bulldozer in Nigeria can indulge you and announce you to the people as a trusted candidate without behind the scenes agreement. This is what we are suffering in Nigeria. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Everybody, including Muhammad Buhari, meant well for Nigeria. Bring electioneering, when they were campaigning, the promises they made to keep to it. But after winning, those agreements they have with these godfathers is what is shifting their attention from what they would have done to Nigerians.
Okay, I want to ask you one question before you continue. You know, if you look at the American setting, a situation whereby President Biden is there now, but his predecessor and maybe his principal at the same time, while they were in his government, Obama was there to endorse and even campaign for him for a long while before he got to the office. So, don't you see that, okay, this one now, we could also say that there is a backdoor agreement also for him, the two of them to come out, really, for him to endorse him, to carry him along and everything. If it is so, don't you see that we are of the same, but their system works and our own is not? See what you have to say about it, basically. It's not like this.
We have different way of, seeing things from people from America. Are you getting me?
Okay.
We have different way of reasoning. Our mentality differs from them. So in Nigeria, believe you me, most of these are their people in the National Assembly, and in some, if you fail to listen to them, they can mobilize their voice. They can never escape this behind the scene agreement after you win election. You cannot afford to ignore it because they have their tools working for them. And if you fail to keep the after you win election, you cannot afford to ignore it because they have their tools working for them. And if you fail to keep to what they say or the agreement you reach with them, they will now activate their machinery and these things will work against you and they keep you from there. So what I'm saying is this: until whether we go and collect our PDP, I have mine. I know the power of PDP. I know what's in them. They meant well for Nigeria. But where, if you win, you will, I will give you a number of ministers that you will not get a run up and dare to with well of the country. That's the problem. If you deal with that populism, we are going to get out of this quagmire. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's still political views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Such a wonderful view you see there. But we need to hear from you. Let's hear from you before I address a thing or two on that particular statement. Hello?
Yeah, if I am back to correct an impression,
okay, please do that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I totally disagree with the last caller. Not the last caller, the caller before the last caller.
Okay.
When he says that I contradict issue, my very good friend, I've always specified when I talk. I think, analyze before I issue word.
Okay.
Not just talking about where am I trying to get to. I made it very clear in your ear and the ears of the world that God created us. Free will. He gave us free will to live. And it is all humanity that will change ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. And I say, as far as Nigeria is concerned, I don't see this generation changing anything. That is exactly what I said.
Okay.
So there's no contradiction or whatever in it.
Yes.
I agree. You understand? I totally agree that humanity changed things. But when you talk of Nigeria as a third case, not the members, I don't know about you, how you think, that are not corrupt, which parameter?
Corrupt Nigerian, or are you a...
Yes, I am corrupt, but in a little bit percentage. Okay. And I'm frank enough to say that. And I'm proud enough to say it. Not that I'm proud, but I'm frank enough and
to
clear
say
enough
it,
to say it, to mention myself, to include myself. Okay. Because I know the things that we do that are corrupt. Okay. There are corruption tendencies, but are in a little way. So anybody who is coming here to even swear to me or whatever.
See what there's a bit of misunderstanding between you and that caller. the guy is trying to say something. What he's saying is that we are all saying the same thing. Both you, him, and me. We are saying the same thing. That the people need to change for the government to change. What we are saying. We are all saying. He's trying to say. Okay.
He's just saying is that if we agree that we all are let me tell you something. A 97-year-old this is what an old man told he included there. That is his interest.
Some of the infrastructure they saw, you know, what some Nigerians are looking at today. Okay.
We all are the same. But people don't know the advisor. They got a government because as far as I'm concerned, let me re-encourage again. All you yes, simple roads become a witch to them. Let's keep living where we are living,
no problem.
Just like, for example, based on the constitution. For the time to go,
we are running reduced by the last caller, and let me take this last call before we call it a day on this particular of man. You can go on, man. Wrap up here. Okay.
Ọ duru ndị anyị na-enwe na be anyị a anaghị ekwu ihe ga-eweta ihe dị mma out of scrutiny today ndị a tara ha need ha anything like wetara education kedu ihe na-enye oge nsogbu ebe ọ nọ ana m arịọ Goodluck ka ọ dasị adị biko ya were opportunity ahụ ọ nọ wee gbaa mbọ pụtata na ọkụ eletrik since 1914 amalgamation of Nigeria bidoro ọkụ akara wee nwuo ebe nna ya ọ si na ọ wee onye Imo steeti from Abateke in Ọhajiegbe ịghọtago ọ ebe a ka o si ọkụ ewube ebe a since gịnị ndị a were pụwa ha were na-enye anyị hapụ atọpụ jaji okwu si gọọmenti aji ọkụ na besa ọ nwere ka ọ dị na-enwe ebe a since gịnị ndị a were pụwa ha were na-enye anyị hapụ atọpụ jaji okwu si gọọmenti aji ọkụ na besa ọ nwere ka ọ dị na-enwere ndị okpotokpo mmadụ n'obodo a mana ije ebe afọ ịma mfụ ọkụ former IG of police mana ije ebe afọ ịma mfụ ọkụ former IG of police kedu ma afọ ya kedu nke Imo steeti a nwunye ahụ ka mwana machi okiro ọ dị
easy about ka I will conclude the program.
aweta ọkụ.
Ngwan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you so much, Rubina from Nnewi. Yes, this is how we'll begin to call it a day on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebona 103.8. Inspector General of Police, DSS, AGF, drag them to court is safety, you know, a whole lot. And remember that it is just 41 days, you know, 22 hours, and then the presidential and national assembly election will happen on the 25th of February 2023. We're also urging you to go and pick up your PVCs, you know, and become part of these